What's up, lovely YouTube family members, and welcome back to another highly informative video. And in today's video, we're going to be looking at seller again, but this time we're looking at a comment laid by one of our lovely subscribers here on the channel. So this person named Midnight Frequency says, please can you make a well-detailed video on sales of category and variant products. And then this comment came under a video I posted 3 months back on how to sell a physical product on Seller. So basically a summary of this particular person's question is, the person wants to understand how to organize your store properly. More like, let's say you're selling, clothing and you have males wear, females wear. How can you properly organize it on your store? And also, in case you have different variants of that particular product, more like, let's say you're selling the clothes and then there are different colors or the different sizes, how can you properly organize it? How can you do the settings properly? So in case anyone wants to buy from you, just like normal, e-commerce sites out there, talking about Amazon and the rest of e-commerce sites where, you want to buy a particular product and then you're able to select the color you want, you're able to select the size, and finally you start seeing the price. Okay, so this person is asking, is it possible on Seller? And the direct answer to that particular question is yes, 100%. It's very, very possible. So please show us, as you guys can see. So that's the purpose of today's video. I'm going to be showing you guys how to do this on Seller, so make sure to stay tuned. So guys, get ready. You can get a jotter or you can get a notepad because this video is going to be completely detailed. All right, you're going to be learning a whole lot of things in this video, something you might not even find any other place. Okay, so yeah, let's get started. So the first thing is you want to head to the site seller.com. In case you're watching this video and completely new, okay, you want to head to the site seller.com. A brief description about Seller. Seller is basically an e-commerce site, just like every other e-commerce website, where you can actually sell a whole lot of things: digital products, physical products, and several other type of products. Okay, so like I said earlier on, the purpose of today's video is to learn how to properly sell a physical product on Seller and how to properly organize it and categorize it based on several other variants of your physical product. So yeah, once you're here in Seller, all you simply have to do is to create an account or log in if you already have an account. If you have a Google account, you can simply just sign up by continuing with Google to make the process faster. And once you're done with the sign up process or you've signed in, you will be brought to your main dashboard. Once you've done that, the next thing you want to do is to head to this area where you have these three dashes. If you're using a mobile device, it's the same thing. Just click on the three dashes. Okay, and once you've done that, you want to start by going to the settings. Okay, this is the first thing you want to do after you've signed up and you signed in. Okay, so you want to come here to settings. Once you're here in settings, the number one thing you want to focus on is the settings based on store delivery. So you want to go to store delivery. Store delivery is basically the delivery aspect. You're talking about physical products. You need to understand that you're the one who's going to actually handle your delivery externally. You can visit a whole lot of good logistics companies out there, look at their pricing, and then you're going to be adding the prices based on those delivery companies over here. Okay, so the idea is you want to set the locations you're okay in delivering your physical products to. Okay, and for you to do that, let me just delete all this real quick. It's very, very simple. So you want to come here to add new location. You want to click on add new location. For example, let's say you're in Nigeria or whatever country you're in. Okay, you want to type in the number one location you can easily deliver to. So let's say my business is in Lagos. I can say, okay, I want to be delivering in Lagos, and then the amount based on my own findings externally. Seller is not going to handle your delivery. You're the one who's actually going to reach out to external logistics company, look at their prices. You need to ensure that they're trusted and they deliver properly. And once you've actually looked at their prices, then you can add their fee over here. So the buyer is also going to be paying for this delivery as well. Okay, so let's say it's gonna be Lagos. So I'm gonna say, let's say for Lagos, let's say 4,000 for example. Okay, and then let's say you also want to be delivering to other locations, let's say like Abuja or Benin State, Gombe, whatever state at all, you want to do the same thing. So let's say I'm also going to be delivering to Abuja. Okay, and let's say Abuja, I'm going to be charging 7,000 based on my external findings. And also, in case I can deliver abroad as well, let's say London, US, whatever it might be, after doing my research externally and I've seen a very good delivery company, a very good international logistic company, and I've also seen their fee, then I can add it over here. I can say United States, all right, and then I can add the delivery fee. Obviously this is going to be higher, so let's say it's going to be 30,000 for example in naira. So you want to do the same thing based on your country, okay? But once you're finally done with all these areas, you feel these are the only areas you can deliver to, you're very satisfied with these areas, all you have to do is to click on save changes. So now these are going to be the locations where you would be showing to your buyers that okay, these are only the areas I deliver to. So you want to ensure that you're inserting all the locations you're comfortable in delivering to your buyers. Okay, so now once you've actually done that, that's the first step. Once you've actually done that, you also want to ensure you're clicking on this is the active delivery settings for my store. So your entire store is based on all these locations. Now once you're done, you're going to be seeing success, your delivery settings has been updated. So immediately after the delivery settings, the next thing you want to do is to come back here again to where you have those three dashes. Now this time we're going to focus on organizing our store properly. If you guys have noticed, every e-commerce website you go to, they always have regions for, areas for electronics, they always have areas for clothing, they always have areas for, phones, things like that. That's basically categorizing their store. So we're going to do the same thing for our physical store. So after the delivery settings, you want to come here again to the three dashes, come here to where you have product, click on the drop down, and then head to the area where you have product categories. All right, now you want to click on product categories, and now you want to create different categories based on what your physical products are going to be about. For example, let's say you're someone dealing with electronics. Now your electronics, you have blenders, you have let's say microwave, you have whatever it might be. So this is where you want to create those categories. So you're going to be clicking on create categories. But for the sake of today's video, I'm going to be focusing on wears, more like clothing wears. So I'm going to create the first category. I can call it, let's say, men wear 01. And then I can just click on create category. And then I'm going to do the same thing again, create another category. Let's say women wears, this time women wears, and then 01 again, and then I can click on create category, and then I can keep on creating as many categories as I know I would need on my physical product store. All right, so once you're done with this, then we're going to be moving to the main aspect of this tutorial. Okay, so you want to ensure you're doing these two things first, the delivery settings and then the product category settings. Now once you're finally done with this, you want to head to the next aspect, which is you coming here again to the three dashes and finally going here to add product. Now once you're here in add product, you want to scroll down to the bottom where you have physical product. Now you want to click on next over here. All right, and then this is where we're going to be doing the main setup of the physical products we want to sell itself. Okay, so you want to start by inserting the images of whatever products you want to sell. So like I said, for this tutorial I'm focusing on wears. Okay, so I'm going to start by inserting, let's say, the clothes I sell. So I'm going to click on browse over here, and then I'm going to head to the area where I have the clothing itself. So let's say I want to sell this t-shirt. Okay, so I'm going to add the image. That's the first thing you want to do. Then the next thing you want to do is to add the name of the product itself. So I'm going to say wolf style t-shirts. All right, so once you're done with that, the next thing, as you guys can see over here, is to insert the price of the t-shirt itself. So I'm going to say 25,000 based on naira over here. And then the next thing beneath the price itself is what we call the show striked out original price. This is more like a marketing strategy. It depends on you if you want to use it. If you don't want to use it, it's still fine. But then I would always advise everyone to use this marketing strategy. So as you guys can see here, the sales price is 25,000, but then show striked out price, we can say it's 52,000. So automatically when we're done with this and we're about to sell, on the page itself, it's going to show 52,000 as the original price, but it's going to be striked out. making your buyer feel that, oh, what I'm actually paying for this particular product is even lesser than the original price. It's simply a marketing strategy. Now once you're done with that, the next thing you want to do is to insert the description of your product itself. So I can just say t-shirts for men, t-shirts for men, and I can put 100% cotton. Okay, you want to ensure you're inserting all the details, product details about this particular, wear or whatever product you want to sell. And in case you're confused or you don't know how to get very nice convincing descriptions, then you can head to ChatGPT. You can use AI for that. Just head to chat.openai.com, as you guys can see on my screen right now, and then tell ChatGPT to give you a very brief description for a t-shirt. So for example, you can say, write me a brief product description for my wolf style male t-shirt, make it catchy and attractive. Just something brief, okay, and then enter, and then ChatGPT is going to give us something we can use for our t-shirt. Okay, so as you guys can see over here, it's giving us several options. So I think I'm just going to go for this one. Okay, depending on what you want, okay, you can keep asking till you're satisfied with what it provides you with, and once you've actually gotten that, you can actually paste it over here. All right, so this is it. So I'm basically okay with this particular description. Now the next thing over here is the category itself. Okay, what exactly do your physical product fall under? So for this scenario, we're going to look for fashion as well. Okay, so I'm dealing with clothing, so I'm basically going for fashion and wears. In case you're dealing with electronics or you're dealing with physical books, you want to look for the suitable category. And then we have subcategories over here. So basically this particular t-shirt is a male t-shirt, so I'm going to be going for men's. All right, so I'm going for men's. Okay, now the next thing, which is actually one of the key things this video is about, okay, is the variants. Okay, so variation. So the use of this variation is more like, now for example, this t-shirt has different colors, or this t-shirt has a whole lot of sizes. It has small size, it has large, it has medium, it has extra large, things like that. Okay, so that's where this product variation comes in. So you want to click on this product variation. For this particular tutorial, we're going to be having two variations. We're going to be having size variation, and we're also going to be having color variation for the t-shirts. Okay, so now once you've actually checked this product variation, you want to click on add variant over here. So the variant for number one, we're going to make it, let's say, size. So I'm going to type in size over here, and then the next thing you want to do, as you guys can see at the bottom here, we have several options to click. The first one here is required variant. Is it compulsory for people to select from this particular variant? When you're about to buy things from e-commerce site, let's say for a t-shirt, for example, they would always say you have to select the size. Okay, they always say you have to select the size or you have to select the color, because they're making it compulsory so they don't make mistakes. So they ensure that you're the one who selected that particular option before they deliver, to avoid stories or issues. Okay, so the same thing, you want to apply the same thing on your own product. Okay, you want to apply the same thing on your own store. So you want to click on this required variant. The buyer must select one option on checkout. That is, the buyer is compulsory for the buyer to select a size. So you want to ensure that even if every other boxes are not checked, you want to ensure this first one is checked. Okay, so they select the size they need. Okay, it's compulsory. Now the next thing here is, okay, for the size, what are the options under the size? So we have the small. Okay, how much is it going to be? Is it going to be the same 25,000? All right, or you want to add more money to the price itself? But for the sake of today's video, I don't think I'm going to be adding any amount. So then I'm going to add another option. I'm going to say medium. Okay, let's say medium. All right, and then I'm going to say large, and then finally I can add extra large. Okay, and you can keep adding as many sizes as you want, extra large, whatever option you want to use. So I'm going to say extra large. All right, and then if you want to add more amounts to it, because it's extra large, you can come here and then add. But if you're okay with this particular size, you don't want to add any price, the amount is the same amount for every size, then you can leave it. Okay, so I'm going to add another variant, as you guys can see, and this time I'm going to name this color. Okay, so you want to do the same thing. Do you want them to select? It's compulsory for them to select the color. It's always advisable to select this required. Okay, to ensure that, yeah, they were the one that selected this color and they were the one that selected this particular size. Okay, So now we have the options itself for the colors. So I'm going to say we have black. Okay, we have black, and then I'm going to add another option. We have white, and then probably we have red. Okay, so I'm going to add again red. Okay, so once you're finally done, all you have to do now is you can proceed to the next stage. So this is basically how variants work. In case you're using, you're selling electronics too as well, and let's say the particular electronic has different arms, or it has different, maybe a particular electronic has this particular special feature, this other one doesn't have it. You're basically adding variants. This is the application of this particular feature on the seller itself. Okay, so now once you're done with that, the next thing you want to do, which is basically the final things, is to select the quantities you have. How much do you have in store? Okay, how much stock of this particular product do you have? Let's say you have 100, you can insert it over here. So as people are buying it, seller automatically would help you deduct the number. So let's say one person buys, it becomes 99, someone buys 50, it drops like that. Seller automatically updates it on your store front for your buyers. Okay, so you want to add the quantity here, and in case you have a lot of quantity, it's unlimited. Then as you guys can see here, set quantity to 0 for unlimited. So you want to put 0. So for this particular tutorial, I have a lot in stock. Okay, so I'm going to put 0. And then the next thing over here is pre-order release date. This is in case you're not launching today, maybe you want to launch next month. Okay, you can as well click on this, but in case you're launching immediately, then you don't have to select this. Now moving to the final part of this particular tutorial, which is basically the store categories. Okay, as you guys, and I'm sure you guys remember, when we started with delivery, and then we went to products category. So this is the area where you're going to select where this particular products you just created is going to fall under your store. So basically on your store page, we're going to have the icon, your logo, then we're going to have an area where a whole lot of categories is more like, in this particular tutorial I'm making, I'm dealing with clothing. So we're going to have menswear, women's wear, and several other categories to select. So when your buyer selects menswear, all the options for men's clothing is going to come out. When they select women's wear, all the options for women's clothing is going to come out. Same thing applies to whatever type of physical products categories you're doing. So that's the purpose of these store categories. So for this particular product, it's going to fall under menswear. So that's where I'm going to leave it at this. Okay, now the final thing here is automatically redirect the buyer to an external URL. This is in case you want everybody that buys, or anybody that buys your product, to be added to a particular group or a community, let's say like a WhatsApp group or Facebook group. Then this is where you want to click on it and then add the link to that particular group. So as they are buying, they would be joining that community. So it's basically a win-win. As they're buying, you can always reach out to them again to buy a new product, because they're your customer, right? So if you're actually okay with that, then this is where you want to paste the link of that particular group you've created for this particular sake. All right, so if you're not doing that, you don't want that, then you can uncheck it, and finally click on create product, and now your product is ready. Okay, just a quick view. Let's click on the link. All right, so this is basically how it's going to look like. So as you guys can see, over here, this is the description, this is the size. So now it's compulsory for them to select the size they want and also the color before they can buy. And then as you guys can see, the price is not changing. But in case you actually inserted an additional price, once they select, let's say, extra large, this price is going to update. All right, but then this is basically how it's going to look like. As you guys can see, it's looking so good. Now I want us to do something else. Let's create another one for female this time. So now we have this product ready. Let's go back and create for a female. So for you to actually go back, you can come here to the editing area, click on these particular three dashes again, and then scroll to the bottom where you have add product. So this time we're going to add product, and then we're going to come here to physical product again, just the same thing. All right, and then we're going to add an image for the female this time. So let's say this is going to be the female product. The reason why I'm showing you guys another tutorial is because I'm going to show you guys at the end of this particular tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how everything is going to look based on the categories and everything we've actually set from the start of this video. So make sure you don't close this video, keep watching, stay tuned. All right, so once you've added the image, you also want to add the name of the female wear. I can just say t-shirt. female LL, okay, whatever it might be, okay. And then the sales price, I'm gonna make it 25,000 as well. The show strike out price, I'm gonna make it 52,000. All right, and then the description, to make it faster, like I said, I'm gonna come here, then to ChatGPT. So this time, give me for a normal female t-shirts. All right, so just to get an idea, if you want, you can copy and edit it, which is better. And if you don't have much time, depending on whatever you want to do. Okay, so I'm going to come back here, paste it, scroll down to categories. It's also under fashion and wears. All right, and then subcategories this time is women. All right, and then moving to the product variations, want to do a similar thing. So we have this product has variations. So I'm going to click on it. Then I'm going to come here to add variants. So I'm going to start with size. All right, and then required is compulsory. And then come here to the options. We have small. All right, we have medium, and then large. But in case you want to put additional price to all these variants, all you simply have to do is to scroll up and then check this variant affects the price. Automatically the additional price would be editable. Okay, as you guys can see now, I can put 1,000, additional 1,000, or additional 5,000, okay, whatever it might be. But that is in case you want it to affect the price. But in case you don't want it to affect, then that's fine. All right, so let me just check this, change this back to 0. All right, and then uncheck. So now once you're finally done, the next thing you want to do is to round up with the same thing like I explained for the first one. And finally the category, I'm going to make it women wear. All right, and finally create product. So now basically we have two products on our store. And then there's one thing I didn't explain to you guys in the first product, and that deals with the link itself. As you guys can see, this link looks so messed up. We have alphabet and numbers. In case you want to make it look very, very real, you want to scroll to the bottom where you have customize URL. Okay, so this is the area where you can edit the URL itself. So you're going to click on this, and then you can make it women t-shirts. And then once you're finally done, just mark this and then update the product. So automatically your link is going to be updated, as you guys can see. So this is basically how the women t-shirt is going to look like. Okay, so basically we have small, medium, large. We didn't put colors, that's why you can only see this a single variant of size. Okay, but it's the same thing. And then let's not forget, I forgot to change this back to 25,000. So all you have to do is to come back to the editing area, click on 25 over here, and then scroll down and update the product. So once you update it, automatically it's gonna update as well. As you guys can see, the price has been updated. So now let's round up this particular tutorial. I want to believe you all have learned a whole lot in this video already. So let's now see the effect of the store categories itself. So once you come here and then scroll to the top, this is the link to your store itself, your general store. Once you click on it, you're gonna see all your products. So let's say you had a whole lot of products, almost 100 products already. So this particular category feature at the side over here is the area where our store categories apply. So once you click on menswear, all right, it's going to show you all the menswear you already selected. Once you click on women's wear, you're going to see all the women's wear, as you guys can see. So this is basically the feature. This is how it works. And I believe you all have learned a whole lot. And I believe I've clarified on the question asked already by midnight. And if you all learned a whole lot and you haven't still subscribed, make sure to subscribe, drop a like on the video, and also feel free to share this video with your friends and family members. And I'll see you guys in my next highly informative video. Thanks for watching.